Hare Krishna, Rita Mataji, Dhanavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and the assembled devotees. This is Revati from Atlanta, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Revati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thanks for joining the call and giving your sweet association. And that was very nice recitation, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji, Dandot Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. This is Shama Guru Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thanks for giving your association today morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Brazil.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thanks for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. This is Uma Pratap from India.
Hare Krishna, Uma Pratap Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thanks for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone who wants to introduce themselves? So once again, welcome to Bhakti Sanga Japa Group conference. So today's class will be given by His Grace. Okay, sorry. Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome to Bhakti Sanga Japa Group conference. So today's class will be given by His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhuji on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata Madhya Khanda 5.10 to 5.18 verses. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association today morning, Prabhuji, and enlightening us on this topic. Before handing over the call to you, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada quote, Prabhuji. October 25th. On the mirror, if there is dust, you cannot see your face very nicely. If you wipe the mirror very nicely, so this Hare Krishna chanting is the process of wiping out the dust accumulated on the mirror of my mind. Montreal, October 25th, 1968. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Now please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. First and foremost, thank you very much for the kind introduction. It's my great pleasure to be here amongst all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are constant audience, astikas in the blooming ever literature of Caitanya Bhagavat. So I consider myself very fortunate to be amongst your association. Especially, I would like to thank Her Grace Preeti Vilasini Mataji for giving me an opportunity to speak on the Ekadashi day today, which is where I am. I'm observing the Ekadashi today. So it's very great fortune that we can utilize our senses for Krishna's greatest day, which is Ekadashi. So today we are going to speak about Nityananda Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu's Vyasa Puja ceremony in Caitanya Bhagavat. So while it is beyond my realm and beyond my capability to glorify Nitai, Nityananda Prabhu, and his associates, I would like to beg for the mercy from all the devotees assembled here that please bless me so that I could speak some words which are inspiring and which is also nurturing our hearts with love for Nitai. So with that, we will start today's lecture on Caitanya Bhagavat. We will first say the Mangalacharan prayers. And from the Mangalacharan prayers, we will go to the verses. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Atitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkapatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Caitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khanda, chapter number 5, entitled Lord Nityananda's Vyasa Puja ceremony and his darshan of the Lord's six-armed form. Text number 10. Nityananda Jani Lena Prabhura Ingita Hatedari Ani Lena Srivasa Pandita. Nityananda understood the Lord's hint and brought Srivas Pandit forward by the hand. So, here the story, in fact, the pastimes of the Lord is ongoing, where Vishwambhar, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is mentioning that tomorrow is the full moon day, the Vyasa Purnima day, the day when the Purnima is going to appear. We all are waiting for the Sharat Purnima to appear. We are all waiting for the Kartik to appear. We are all waiting for the Ras Purnima to appear. Similarly, the greatest Purnima day, it's going to appear in very few days, and where we are all going to celebrate Kartik, the most glorious, wonderful festival which comes once a year, every year, as Lord Damodar's Damodara month. So Purnima is considered auspicious. But here, Vishwambar is mentioning about the special Purnima called as the Vyasa Purnima, Guru Purnima. So the full moon day, on this full moon day, Vyasadev is worshipped. So here Vishwambar is asking Nityananda Prabhu, please tell me, what is to be done. So this seems from the outside that Vishwambar is asking a question. Lord Vishwambar is asking a question that something he does not know. But this is not true. The Lord, he knows everything. In fact, his desires are sometimes exhibited like this. He says something, but he means something else. He wants his desires to be fulfilled. And what is the Lord's desire? The Lord's only desire is that his pure devotees are always floating in ecstasy and are always having the ecstatic conditions of Krishna's love. This is what he truly wants. Just like a father, he would truly like to see his children supremely happy. And when he sees them happy, he becomes happy. When the dependents are happy, the head of the family is happy. So this is the true nature of the soul, to be happy. And Krishna always looks out how his pure devotees can be served by giving them maximum happiness. So Vishwambar is saying, how should we celebrate? How should we celebrate this full moon day? Please inform us. Please tell us. So when we read the text number 9, it feels as if Vishwambar is asking a very genuine question of an area or a subject matter that he knows less of. But the very next verse gives it away. And here it is translated. Nityananda Prabhu understood the Lord's hint. So the hint word is very important because the Lord hinted. That means sometimes he knows, but he wants to hear it from others. And this is a great service. This is a great service that the Lord wants to hear it from others. So here he asked Nityananda Prabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu understood the Lord wants to know. So he immediately rushed and held the hand of Srivasa Pandit. And Srivasa Pandit was so fortunate that his own hands were not only held, he was pulled forward by the hand and he was brought forward. So when the Lord themselves select who should serve them, it's a very great victory. Sometimes we feel that public victories are the greatest victories, where people appreciate in a large gathering for a service which we performed, a Rath Yatra that we conducted, a Janmashtami that we successfully completed, a great stage program and a drama we enacted, or a great organization of a seminar or a GBC meeting in the local temple. And when there is public appreciation of calling on the stage, and there are claps all around, and there are glorifications all around, and there are smiles all around, and there are great words of appreciation all around. This is all very nice. This is all how devotees appreciate each other. This should be there. But the subject who is the receiver of all of this, there is a chance of feeling proud in the heart, having pride in the heart. There is a chance that after hearing the claps, after hearing the glorifications, after hearing the very, very sweet nectarian sound of self-praise, it can happen that our hearts can be fully contaminated with pride. And when there is pride, Lord Jesus Christ said very nicely in the Bible, pride cometh before the fall. Right? It comes before the fall. Says very nicely. That before we fall down, what we feel is pride enters our heart. So public victories are very seemingly sweet and nectarian, but what we really should cherish in Krishna consciousness are private victories, where there are no claps, there are no smiles, there is no pat on the back, there is no appreciation of words, the next bout of anger which is rising within the core of the heart is suppressed within before even a word could be spoken. The want to speak and self-glorify is overturned by a simple smile and a quiet feeling that I should not speak now. Why should I glorify myself? The want of appreciation, the ask of appreciation, or the urge to prove that I know more shastras than others in the association of devotees should be replaced by silent hearing and giving the 2 ears to listen to others and say, this Vaishnava is also speaking about my Lord. This Vaishnavi is also speaking her realizations. Let me hear. Let me not prove a point that who's more Pandita. This private victory is the most pleasure giver. This private victory gives us the greatest capability. Is my voice okay? Is everybody able to hear properly? Somebody say, can everybody check? Hare Krishna. Is my voice?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Now it's okay, sir, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Because the only medium is voice. So thank you for letting me know. So the private victory is the most important. And what else could be the greatest victory when Srivasa Pandit did not raise his hand to say, I will tell you, Nityananda Prabhu, what should be done. He didn't do that. He just kept back himself. He was standing there, and who caught his hand? Nityananda Prabhu caught his hand. So this is Nityananda Prabhu catching the hand of Srivasa and saying, come forward. I'm going to select you for a special service. Hate dari ani lena Srivasa Pandita. He brought him forward by the hand. So this selection is naturally one of the greatest victories. But private victories in the heart does not mean that pride, the seeds of pride cannot be sown in the heart. Even private victories can make one person proud. Such is the nature of this world. Such is the nature of our mind. We can get proud, or we can become very proud, and pride can enter our heart when we think, oh, now I am not looking for public victories. Now I have heard, now this is a private victory. Nobody else has a private victory. When we start comparing our private victories with others, again pride can enter. So how do we quash this? How do we take a big jackhammer and hit right on the head of this pride that it's quelled completely eternally? We should now look into the actions of Srivasa Pandit. Because now he is selected. And he is selected by whom? He is selected by that personality who is being asked a question of Shastric nature by Lord Vishwambar. So can you understand, in that Goshti, in that circle of devotees, the position of Nityananda Prabhu right now in this conversation is, can you guide us? Can you be the torch bearer? And all eyes are on Nityananda Prabhu. At that time, he holds the hand of Srivasa Pandit, brings another character into the foray. So now the spotlights are on Srivasa Pandit. But before we see what Srivasa Pandit did, we should read the nectarian purport of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Jagat Guru Sri Nityananda Prabhu was a brahmachari disciple of Parivrajaka Sri Lakshmi Pati Tirtha, who enacted the pastimes of subordination to the Sri Madhva Sampradaya. This is so very well written by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Parivrajaka Sri Lakshmi Pati Tirtha is sometimes known as the spiritual master of Nityananda Prabhu. in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in one of the places, Srila Prabhupada very beautifully mentions this. Okay, the voice seems to be low again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Let me try to connect once more. Let me just test. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Is it okay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I can speak a little louder.
We can hear you.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, okay, Prabhuji, okay.
Okay, okay. I'll try to speak a little louder so that it's here. I do not know what the problem is. So Lakshmipati Tirtha is one of the spiritual masters, or is considered as the spiritual master of Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu and Lakshmipati Tirtha, they have a very, very sweet bonding. In fact, it is mentioned that Lakshmipati Tirtha was instructed by none other than Balaram, by none other than Nityananda Prabhu, in a dream that he has to take a separate branch of Madhva Sampradaya. And that is why here it is mentioned subordination to Sri Madhva Sampradaya. How did that happen? What was the reason? Let us just dwell on that particular fact. So it is a very well-known fact. It is a very well-known fact that Lakshmipati Tirtha, he was a great acharya. And he used to be always thinking about the Lord. And specifically, he was attached to Lord Balaram. And constantly, he would think about Lord Balaram. Of course, this is the right mood. Because in one of the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gonainu, in that song he says, Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se. Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se. Balarama Hoilo Nitai. Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se. In a song called Ishta Deva Vignapati, which is a very simple in Bengali language, he says, Brajendra Nandan, Lord Sri Krishna is Brajendra Nandan. He is the son of Nanda. And who is he? He is the king of Vraja. Brajendra. He is the king of Vraja. And he has become Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se. And he has become Sachi Sutta, Lord Chaitanya. Okay, if Krishna is Brajendra Nandan, who is Balaram? Balarama Hoilo Nitai. Balarama has become none other than Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So Lakshmipati Tirtha used to always remember about Lord Balaram. And once a story of this nature goes that one day Lakshmipati Tirtha was sitting below a tree and constantly thinking about Lord Balaram. He used to always perform a solitary bhajan. And sometimes he used to sit under the tree and sing songs by which tears will flow down from his cheeks. And his unalloyed devotion would be so intense, it would never break, just like how you pour a bottle of honey. If you pour water from one container to another, it will have breaks. Sometimes a chunk of water will fall down, and sometimes a little, and then there will be a break, and then there will be more amount of water. But if you pour honey from one bottle to another, it will be one continuous flow. There will be no break. From the tip of the bottle, when it starts to the last drop of honey, it will be one continuous flow. Our devotion should be like the flow of honey. It should never break. So Lakshmipati Tirtha used to have intense, unalloyed devotional service, and this was flowing like the flow of honey. And he used to constantly think about Balaram from the bottom of his heart. So he used to sing the glories of Lord Balaram. He would sometimes call out from the deepest recesses of his heart. He would say, "Oh Baladev, oh Balaram, kindly show me some favor. I'm so fallen, I'm so wicked. Wouldn't you come before me?" And while he would say this, tears would flow from his eyes. He would lose all composure. Sometimes he would lose all patience. And in his old age, and he had this intense desire in his heart to always be meditative about the Lord. Sometimes he would stand, sometimes he would collapse. Sometimes he would smile, sometimes he would cry. And like this, he would have many devotional, ecstatic moments. So one day he was praying very intensely to Balram, and he had these ecstatic moments. Parivajagacharya Lakshmipati Tirtha, he had these ecstatic moments, and he collapsed. And he slept. Because of that overwhelming grief of separation from Lord Balram, thinking about Lord Balram, he slept. It is described that at that juncture, Lord Nityananda had a very prankish kind of a mood. He appeared to Lakshmipati in his original form as Lord Balaram in his dream. And in his dream, Lord Balaram appeared to him, and he said that a wandering Brahmin who would be in the form of an Avaduta, like a mad man, he has arrived in the same town that Lakshmipati Tirtha is staying. And he will come to you, Lakshmipati Tirtha. And Balaram said, please initiate him and give him the Vaishnava Diksha mantras and accept him as your disciple. And then Lord Balaram himself gave the mantras that he should chant into the right ear of Lord Nityananda. So it's like Balaram telling the mantra, Balaram selecting the guru to become the disciple. This is Nityananda Prabhu. And after a short time, when he woke up from the dream, he was anticipating where will be this mad man which he spoke about. Where will be this Avaduta Brahmin? And like that, Nityananda Prabhu came. He was so beautiful to look at. That intense happiness was sprouting from the deepest recesses of the heart of Lakshmipati Tirtha. He was ecstatic. He was having full jubilation, and he was happy to give Diksha to Nityananda Prabhu. He took the form of Nityananda Prabhu completely in his eyes. The aura of Nityananda Prabhu, he was just relishing that aura. And he was perplexed. He felt it is the same aura that he saw yesterday in the night. And he never blinked his eyes. He was constantly looking at the features of Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda, he was not mute. He was speaking his very pearl-like words, very, very sweet words. And whenever Nityananda Prabhu spoke, Lakshmipati's eyes would become very wide, but not out of surprise. They will be like a blooming lotus in the morning, and which is throwing out the little drops of dew which has condensed over the night. So he will have tears in his eyes. And Lakshmipati, in complete happiness, he fulfilled that wish that Lord Balram asked him to do. And from that day, Nityananda Prabhu became the favorite devotee favorite disciple of Lakshmipati Tirtha. So Nityananda Prabhu is remembering all of this and he's saying, tomorrow is the day of Vyasa Puja. I have to glorify my spiritual master. And with that intent, he's holding the hand of Srivasa and he's bringing him forward. Nityananda Prabhu Vande Srimad Lakshmi Pati Priyam Srimadva Sampradaya Vardhanam Bhaktavatsalam. Respectful obeisances unto you, Nityananda Prabhu. Srimad Lakshmi Pati Priyam, one who is dear favorite of Sri Lakshmi Pati. Srimadva Sampradaya Vardhanam Bhaktavatsalam. You increase the bliss of entire lineage, entire disciplic succession of Madhva Sampradaya. And you know the most hidden, innermost needs of the devotees, not later, foremost at hand. So one who knows the foremost needs of the devotees, he knows foremost at hand, literally here, he is holding the hand of Srivasa and he's saying, I know your desires, Srivasa. I'm going to choose you now. And he brings him forward. So this is Lakshmipati Tirtha. Such great attraction he had for Nityananda Prabhu. And afterwards, the same Balram appeared as Nityananda Prabhu and transformed himself as Balram in the dream of Lakshmipati. He felt so blissful that he has achieved the life's goal, that after that darshan, some days he disappeared from sight. And Lakshmipati, from that day when he lost the darshan of Balaram, he did not speak to anyone. He did not engage in Gramya Katha or any of those activities. He went into complete remembrance of the Lord and he left this planet. But today is that day Nityananda Prabhu is remembering Lakshmipati Tirtha. So therefore he understood that since the following day was Purnima, the day renounced persons shaved their heads, the day of Vyasa Puja had arrived. So every disciple's job is to fulfill the orders of the spiritual master. In fact, if we do not fulfill the orders of the spiritual master, it is considered as a nam aparad. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. And we saw that even Krishna did the same. You can actually see in the photo behind me, it's the pastime where Krishna is bringing back the child and also the conch in his hand, Panchajanya. Because that is the order of Sandipani Muni. And Krishna took that order on his head. Lord Ramchandra, it was Vijaya Dashami yesterday, he actually took the order of his father and he took that to heart and he went after Vishwamitra. And when Vishwamitra said, please shoot an arrow against this wretched woman called as Tataka, Lord Ramchandra hesitated for half a second. And Vishwamitra asked, why are you hesitating? Lord Ramchandra said, this is my first arrow that I am going to shoot. And my first arrow, my first demon that I am going to vanquish. And it turns out to be, it is a woman. Imagine the morning Ayodhya Times, what will it publish? What will my retinue, my CV, my curricular vitae, what will it call? It will say, the great Emperor Rama, the Prince-elect Rama, starts his killing by killing an Abala, a woman. Then Vishwamitra tapped on his shoulder and said, can you please look at that woman? She has got all the dead elephants, millions and millions of elephants dead after eating them. She has tied the trunk of one elephant to the tail of another elephant, and the skull bones of those elephants are like kantimala to her. Do you think this is a woman? Look at her teeth. They are not well preserved. They have canine teeth dripping with blood. Her hair is disheveled. She has a voracious eating of sinless animals, and she eats even humans. And her characteristics, does it look like a woman? Lord Ramchandra said, I can answer that question later, my Guru Maharaj, but I think I have committed a sin. He said, what do you mean? He said, my father told me that whatever the Guru Maharaj says, you should order, you should follow that. And here I am starting to question whether I should follow the orders of my master. I'm sorry, I will do as you tell me to do. And he shot the arrow. So Lord Ramchandra is also exhibiting that performing the orders of the spiritual master is the greatest blessing of a disciple. And at Vyasa Puja ceremony, on the day of Vyasa Puja, the disciple should constantly remember the gratitude that the spiritual master has blessed in our lives. That day, when the beads fall from the hands of the spiritual master and falls into the puddle of our palm, and our tears are flowing immensely, our eyes are fixed on the lotus lips of our spiritual master, who is going to announce the name and who is inviting us into the sampradaya of deathlessness, who is inviting to the great lineage of Rupa Goswami and others. How much gratitude we should have. We should be so indebted to our life. And the greatest instruction of the spiritual master is to chant very attentively 16 rounds a day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simple reciting of the mantra and hearing of the mantra. So for this, we should observe the ceremony of Vyasa Puja. So he asked Nityananda Prabhu, Vishwambar asked, where should it be celebrated? So Vyasa Puja is observed generally on the full moon day for sannyasis and brahmacharis and for the predecessor Guru. So at this time, Nityananda Prabhu is holding the hand of Srivasa and bringing him forward, and everybody is looking at him. What is he going to do? What is he going to say? Where is he going to observe? And what is going to be Srivasa's reply? So Nityananda Prabhu says, Hasi bale Nityananda suna Vishwambhara Vyasa Puja ei mora Vamanara Ghara. He uses the word Vamanara Ghara. Vamanara means Vaman Dev. So is he mentioning Vaman Dev's house? No, Vaman Dev appeared like a simple Brahmin, like a brahmachari. He appeared as a Brahmana to ask 3 feet of land. Similarly, here Nityananda Prabhu is going to ask. Not ask. He is going to order. But he's saying it with his utmost politeness. He's saying, listen, Vishwambar, you asked me the question, please hear. And while he was saying this, he had a gentle smile. And that smile speaks so many volumes. In fact, Krishna's smile is so beautiful. Nityananda Prabhu, Balram's smile is so beautiful. In fact, anyone who is going to Kartik in Vrindavan should go and just see the smile of Sri Krishna Balram. Balaram, he just puts his hand on Krishna's shoulder and he just smiles. He just looks at all the Brajvasis and he smiles. He looks at all the diyas which are offered to him in Krishna Balram Mandir, and he smiles. He loves the Gopashtami festival, looks at the cows, looks at the ladies who are dressed as Gopas, smiles. And that smile brings the greatest ecstatic moments in the hearts of the devotees. So Nityananda Prabhu here, he's smiling. He's saying, I understood your hint and I'm going to speak. So please hear. So please hear, Vishwambar. I understood your hint. And does this satisfy you? I am going to do the Vyasa Puja ceremony in this house of the Brahmana, Vamanara Ghara. And this is just my speculation. Please don't quote this. This is just my speculation. And Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis at the end of the lecture can correct this speculation if it is wrong. It's just my realization. So just like how Vamana was hidden in his motive, but he had a desire to get 3 pieces of land. For whom? For Indra. That is why he came as Upendra. Similarly, the Lord here, Vishwambar, Vishwa Ambar. If you want to say Ambar, that means the sky. Vishwambar, the whole world. So as Vamana, he kind of took the whole 3 steps, the sky, the earth, and the nether regions. And then he kept the 3rd step on the top of Bali. So he's using these words as a pun. And he's saying, Vishwambar, Vamanara Ghara. Just to please, like Indra, you asked, you are giving me a hint. Hence, in a very hinted way, you are telling me, here you go. I'm going to choose this Srivasa Pandit and we are going to bless him. This is just my realization. So Lord Vishwambar then said to Srivasa, Srivasa, this is a great responsibility. Lord Nityananda has chosen you. This is a great responsibility. Srivasa prati bale Prabhu Vishwambara bhada bhara lagi lage tomara upara. It is a great responsibility for you because you are going to host the Vyasa Puja ceremony. And this is when we have to understand the heart of Srivasa Pandit. Srivasa Pandit is not saying that, yes, I will do it perfectly. Don't worry. I have a big house. I have a big pandal. I have great amount of people. I have the greatest community. I have good helpers. I have got good materials. So I can do it. No. He doesn't even allow the private victory to sow the seeds of pride in his heart. What he says is very, very important for us to learn the etiquette when great services are bestowed to us. Pandita balena Prabhu kiche nahi bhara, tomara prasade sarva ghare amara. Srivasa Pandit replied, Oh Lord, this is not at all a burden for me. Now one might feel if he stops the sentence here, he's saying he's doing a self-praise. This is not a great burden for me. This is a small task. No, he's not saying that. He's saying it is not at all a burden for me by your mercy. Krishna, it is not a burden because you are merciful to me. And because of your mercy, whatever is needed to conduct this Vyasa Puja ceremony, it is available in my house. So in other words, he's saying the house is given by you. The materials to do the puja is given by you. The mercy is coming from you. You are just using me as an instrument. This is the correct way of accepting service. When service is bestowed to us, we should always understand that Krishna is showering us mercy. And with great service comes the mercy of the spiritual master also to be successful in that service. Behind every service, the whole parampara is standing with their hands like this, sending us blessings to complete in that service. When do we fail in service? When we stop acknowledging that all the hands are the real reason behind the success of our service. The success is because of Krishna's mercy. It's not purely because of our endeavor. Our endeavor is our duty, but to bless is a choice of Krishna. To be blessed by the parampara and the devotees and the Vaishnavas is a choice. And it's an independent choice. It is not dependent how many rounds we chant. It is not dependent on when we wake up. It is not dependent on how many times we have taken the Ekadashi Vrata. These are not the catalysts to attract the mercy of Krishna. The mercy of Krishna is causeless, but it is also a fact that he doesn't turn a blind eye if we put the endeavor. This is true. And we see that in the Damodar pastime. That when Mother Yashoda was holding the stick, Krishna was not seeing Mother Yashoda. He was crying, but he was not turning his face towards Mother Yashoda. And he was not getting caught too. She was putting a lot of endeavor, but he was not getting caught. Till the time she was holding on to the stick, no success for Yashoda. And then Yashoda thought, maybe my child will get very, very anxious because of the stick. She threw away the stick. And Harisuri, he mentions very nicely that as long as we are holding on to matter, we cannot access spirit. So though every object in Vrindavan is conscious and spirit, but in this example, the Acharyas are telling, till the time Mother Yashoda is holding on to the stick, which is resemblance of matter, she cannot access the Supreme. So she lets go of that, and Krishna turns. And his turning is his causeless mercy. So Srivasa Pandit mentioned, it is all because of your mercy. Nothing is because of me. Nothing is happening because of me. Nothing is because of my endeavor. It is all because of your mercy, my Lord. The same words are repeated by none other than Nanda Maharaj when he sees Garga Muni. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, he mentions this beautiful shloka in the 10th canto, in the 8th chapter, in the 4th verse. Mahad vichalanam nranam grihinam dina chetasam nihrisheyasya bhagavan kalpate nanyata kvachit. As a householder, when he sees Garga Muni is at the door front, he just stands up. He's elated. He welcomes him home. Garga Muni is thinking that does he know, does he not know whether he will accept me or not? He's thinking, but Nanda Maharaj is so happy. He's calling him, giving him a seat, saying the most sweet words. And then he says, Mahad Vichalanam Nranam. Mahad Vichalanam means great personalities like you, Nranam, who are coming into the houses of ordinary persons. Grihinam, Dina Chetasam, especially who walk into the houses of Grihinam, householders, Grihastas. Dina Chetasam, who are very simple-minded. These Grihastas, they do not have wise wisdom. They are very simple-minded people. Why? Because we are always engaged in family maintenance. And nothing more. We don't even have time to think about spiritual knowledge. It's the job of sannyasis and brahmacharis. Grihastas already fallen. Grihinam dina chetasam nihresheshasya bhagavan. But a personality like you, Garga Muni, you have no reason. You have no reason to go to the Grahasta's house. Absolutely no reason. But you go. You do enter into their houses. Why? To benefit them. Kalpate nanyatha kachit. He says, oh most powerful friend of the devotee, what else could be a great reason of you visiting a Grahasta's house? So he's saying, oh my Lord, oh great devotee Garga Muni, persons like you move from one place to another, not for your own interests, but for the sake of poor-hearted grahasthas, householders like me. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. You have no interest. You have just come to bless me. This is the mood of Srivasa Pandit. He says, why would Nityananda Prabhu choose my house other than just to bless me? And he's saying, all the blessings I've got is because you have showered mercy. What are the things I have in my house which is coming from you? Vastra mudda yagna sutra griha guhya pana vidhi yogya yata saja sabha vidya mana. Everything I have in my house, cloth, vastra, which is important for the ceremony, moong dal, pulses, which are important for the ceremony, sacred thread, yagna sutra, brahmana threads is very important for the ceremony, ghee, auspicious for the ceremony, betel nuts. Betel nut is very important for the ceremony. It is said that the tip of the betel nut is where Indra and many other gods are present. In the center is Lakshmi. At the back are Shiva and Parvati. And the betel leaf itself contains Lord Vishnu. And betel nut acts as a great stimulant of ecstatic love for the divine couple. Of course, devotees are not allowed to take betel nuts even as Mahaprasad. But in the Braj Leela, we do see that betel nut plays so many places where betel nut is a very conducive catalyst to increase the love of Radha and Krishna. Who takes care of the betel nut in the Braj Leela? Ganodeshaka Deepika says, Lalita Devi. She has a garden where she grows these nice betel leaves. She plucks these betel leaves. She makes them into packs. She puts nice spices inside those. And while she's folding those packs, she knows special mantras. And Lalita, she's always standing with a golden box. If you go to Mayapur, you can see Lalita standing with a golden box. If you go to Radha Shyam Sundar, you can see Lalita standing with a golden box. And she's always standing there with a golden box with all these beautiful betel leaves with spices and saffron and so many different. And they are chewed by Krishna. And it is also used as an auspicious ingredient in ceremonies because it has the presence of Lord Vishnu. So betel, pan, and whatever else is needed, everything is there. So Srivasa Pandit says, everything is there, my Lord. And he says, but I have to borrow one book. Why does he borrow one book? Because Lakshmipati Tirtha had taken a sub-branch and come from Madhva Sampradaya. So he wants to know the procedures of how that Sampradaya's activities are. Suppose in your house, a Sri Vaishnava comes and says, I want to do Vyasa puja. And we do not have our ISKCON books which tell us. So you might have to borrow a book of, Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya to give it to the person and say, maybe these verses of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya of Ramanujacharya might be more appropriate for your ceremony. So similarly, he says, Paddhati Pustaka. Paddhati, what is the Paddhati? What are the rituals? What are the ways, or what is the way of actually explaining the procedures of Vyasa Puja according to that Sampradaya, according how Nityananda Prabhu wants? That I have to borrow. Rest, all the ingredients, by your mercy, my Lord, it is available in my house. Paddhati Pustaka Matra Magiye Aniba Kali Mahabhagya Vyasa Puja Na Dekhiba. While I get the procedures, but I am the witness, I am the audience, and I am most fortunate. For tomorrow, I will see the Vyasa Puja. This feeling we should cultivate in our heart, that we are very deeply fortunate to get the holy names. We are deeply fortunate to see the deities in the morning. We are deeply fortunate to be amongst the association of devotees. We are deeply fortunate that we can read Srila Prabhupada's books. We should not eclipse Srila Prabhupada in this age of digital medium. I was hearing a very latest one Japa workshop. And in the Japa workshop, Bhakti Bhagavata Swami Maharaj said a very beautiful point, that nowadays we are eclipsing Srila Prabhupada. That there is so much of digital media and there is so much of lectures and so much avenues, that he was saying that if we ask any ISKCON devotee, how many hours of Srila Prabhupada's textbooks and literatures have you read or been in direct contact through listening to Srila Prabhupada, we find that that is reducing in the community. We are not supposed to do that. Every day, we should be in touch with Srila Prabhupada's books. Every day, if we are watching 10 videos, we should watch 20 videos of Srila Prabhupada. Because that fortune which was created within us was created by Srila Prabhupada. And one should never forget that fortune which was created. It is his books, it is his movement, it is his devotees, his disciples who has pulled us so far in Krishna consciousness. So we should give respect to all, but we should not eclipse Srila Prabhupada. We should hear the videos, we should hear the lectures, we should watch Srila Prabhupada very carefully. Maharaj was saying, you can watch Srila Prabhupada very, very carefully, his movements, his actions, and with that we can learn. And this is my personal realization. When I actually see Srila Prabhupada with that particular angle, you can learn so much. Srila Prabhupada was an expert. So this is very nice. In Bhakti Sanga Japa Group, every time before we start the class, we read the quote of Srila Prabhupada. So this allows us to always make us remember Srila Prabhupada. And hence we feel always fortunate to be in his association. So similarly, here he is borrowing a book. And then he says the last 3 verses. Prita Haila Mahaprabhu Srivasera Bhole Hari Hari Dwani Kare Vaishnava Sakale Vishwambara Bale Suna Sripada Gosai Shubhakara Sabe Panditera Ghara Yai Anandita Nityananda Prabhu Ravachane Seishane Agyalai Kari Lagamane. So as soon as Srivas Pandit said that I have everything and I have to just borrow one book, Mahaprabhu was supremely pleased with the words of Srivas. And all the Vaishnavas, they chanted Hari Hari. When they are happy, Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. When you are sad, Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. And then Vishwambar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, O Shripad Gosai, please listen. With your blessing, O Shripad Gosai, he said, with your blessing, we will all go to Srivas Pandit's house. He told Nityananda Prabhu, by your blessings, we will all go and see the Vyasa Puja ceremony. And Nityananda Prabhu was completely pleased with Lord's words because he became the instrument to fulfill Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire. And taking that instruction, they all immediately departed, waiting for that moment tomorrow when the Purnima will come so that they can go and attend the ceremony of Vyasa Puja. So since all the Vaishnavas have departed, what are we supposed to see here? So we'll also end our class here. And I'll also like to depart and delve into the pages to see what happened in the Vyasa Puja ceremony as we flip the pages for tomorrow. You don't need to wait for the Vyasa Puja ceremony of tomorrow for a speaker to come and speak. Please flip the pages of Caitanya Bhagavata of Vrindavan Das Thakur. And it is a never-ending, glorious pastime, which is ongoing, just like the flow of honey, not breaking. And it's continuously flowing in every page, every syllable, every word. Thank you very, very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Srivas Pandit ki jai, Vyasa Puja Mahotsav ki jai, Damodar Maas ki jai, Kartik Maas ki jai, Bhakti Sanga Japa Group Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Yadastas Kalitam Kinchit Vidhvam Satpura Yantu Tat Yadatras Saushtubam Kinchit Tad Gurur Eva Menehi. If you found any mistakes in this presentation, those are truly mine. Please correct me and please instruct me in the right way of bhakti. You are all learned Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. But if you found something which is nice or which you felt soothed your heart, increased your bhakti, those credits go to my spiritual master and not to me. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Caitanya Bhagavata ki jai. If you have any questions, comments, critiques, I'm more than happy to get my ears twisted. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you very much for such nectarian class, Prabhuji. It was awesome to listen about the Vyasa puja that is going to happen for Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And I really like the comparison that you have done. The mercy that Nityananda Prabhuji has showed on Srivasa. The same, like you compared it with Lord Krishna showing his mercy on Lord Yashoda Mata when she was, behind him. And we get that mercy only when we get detached from materialistic things. That one really, that is my takeaway from today's class. And very nice description of everything, Prabhuji. Thank you. Dear devotees, Prithvilasni Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I was so happy I could hear this class with full concentration peacefully. Where is the question of getting your ears twisted when you're pouring nectar into our ears? When Karnamrita is there, where is the question of twisting, Prabhu? So beautiful. Prabhu, I love the class so much. Thank you for I didn't know this, and it was very nice to know and realize that it was Lakshmi Pati Tirtha who, in fact, actually suggested that Nityananda Prabhu should be starting this, a little sampradaya. Of course, it is originating from Madhva Sampradaya, but we do have differences. So thank you for letting me know that. It was very nice to know that. And as an offering to his Guru, so beautifully, the Sampradaya is now flourishing by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. The other thing, I have a very silly question. I know it's absurd, but still I have this question. I also thank you for letting us know about the significance of betel nut, that all the devatas and the Supreme Lord and Lakshmi reside in the betel nut, and that's why it's considered so auspicious. But why do we break the betel nut then? Because we give the whole betel nut mostly as tambulam, but then when we eat, or whoever eats, they generally break it into pieces. So is it okay to break it, or what is the reason or significance? Any
The nuts, the betel nuts which are kept inside the betel leaf, they are broken because if the whole betel nut is kept, the wrapping is difficult and it tears the betel leaf. So,
and it's also easier to eat that way, maybe. But
yes.
But does it in any way affect the fact that the lords reside in it, or?
No, the leaf in itself, the Lord resides in it, and the betel,
Oh,
the Lord resides in the betel leaf
I see.
in itself, not in the
Not
nut.
in.
The nut are just additional flavors which go into the betel leaf.
Understood. Okay, so it's not the betel nut where the Lord resides. The Lord
No.
resides in the betel leaf.
Leaf, yes.
Okay, very nice. And yeah, thank you for also. I think every verse, the way you churned out, it was very interesting. You were even telling about how he specifically asked for the book to be followed. That was also an interesting churning that you did. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Everything was beautiful. Very grateful to you. Thanks for consistently coming on this group. We feel very grateful for that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Rajalakshmi Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a
silly question, Prabhuji. I just wanted to understand, is Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavata, is it the same or is it different, Prabhuji? Because we have one more which is again Chaitanya Leelamrita or something. So I always get confused between this, Prabhu.
Yes, so Chaitanya Charitamrita is written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and Chaitanya Bhagavat is written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. The pastimes flow, both are narrations of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his childhood pastimes, his activities, and the way he did the pastimes in the world while he was here. So this is two renditions of two great devotees. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Chaitanya Bhagavat was written by Vrindavan Das Thakur.
So we can read either of them, Prabhuji?
We should first read Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He kind of assimilates, he kind of picks the cherished part from all the books and he compiles them. And Srila Prabhupada's direct translations and purports are available in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is very, very nectarian. So as I said, we should not eclipse Srila Prabhupada. We should first pick up Chaitanya Charitamrita. Like in this Bhakti Sanga Japa Group, they have successfully completed Chaitanya Charitamrita and then they have ventured to speak about Chaitanya Bhagavat. So that should be the preference.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Sorry, I was not aware of this.
No problem, no problem, Mataji. It's
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sukha Mataji or Prabhu, I'm sorry if I'm calling you incorrectly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Prabhuji, I just had a quick question. Like in our sampradaya, we do not, take betel nuts or betel leaves like that. But generally, in at least in South Indian traditions, as part of the culture, like if married women or somebody come home, especially during Navaratri, there's this tradition of giving tambulam, and so I mean, so we do not do that. So what would be like a good replacement? I mean, of course, we give prasadam and other things like as devotees, but I was just wondering, like, I mean, how do we?
We don't need to replace. We don't need to consume. Some of the materials which are kept and given are as per Vedic Shastras. So tambula and betel nut, they both can be given. You can, because it's a sign of auspiciousness and it is the sign of giving. But we don't need to consume. So naturally they will keep it at their house. It is auspicious and it will dry. Just like all prasad, it will dry off. That's fine. Just like flowers, you give flowers of the Lord and that flowers will decay off after some time and then you'll have to throw them away very respectfully. The same we can give to devotees because it's auspicious. That's the culture. So that culture part of it should not be forgotten. It need not be replaced, but we need not consume it. But we understand the glories of the betel nuts. In fact, there are so much glories. Narottam Das Thakur speaks about the glories. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sharnagati in poem number 3, he speaks about the glories of Tambula Rasa. So these betel nut plays a very significant part in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. In fact, in Padyavali, Rupa Goswami says in the 3rd verse in itself that I worship that Krishna who is fully enchanted by Srimati Radhika, who is so beautiful and who is chewing in her reddened lips the beautiful betel nuts and the betel leaf. This is mentioned by Rupa Goswami. And then the Gopas one day, they go and they want to eat Krishna's remnants. So one Gopa says that, Krishna, it seems like you are the most strongest amongst all because you have been fed by prasad, which is cooked by Mother Yashoda. So anybody who eats Mother Yashoda's food, they'll become strong. So can you lend me something? I would like to also kill 2-3 demons. And they all put their hands inside Krishna's dabba. Krishna says, do you want me to eat and give it to you? They said yes. And they eat Krishna's remnants directly from his hand. And they're very happy. And afterwards, when they're taking rest, the Gopas will make nice small beetle packs and give it to Krishna. And Krishna will chew them nicely. And they'll wait for the remnants of those beetle nuts. But Srila Prabhupada has said to keep the temple clean, to keep our surroundings clean. And it also has some material properties of getting intoxicated. So the devotees are not supposed to consume it. But it is an effective component in the worship of Shri Radha and Krishna. So we respect it. Does that answer the question, Mataji? We don't need to replace, we don't need to consume.
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the references. Yes, Prabhu, I was just wondering, amongst devotees, at least when we call, I mean, I didn't think, that how can we give tambulam? I mean, it's of no practical use to them in that sense. But yeah, like you rightly mentioned, they can just keep it there, and there's how after they dry up or something, we discard flowers. Like the same way, like an offering, they can just perhaps discard it. That's a good point you made, Prabhuji, because I was always wondering, like, what do we do with that? So I don't usually give that to devotees, but now maybe, it's not too bad an idea, to give that to them. Thank you,
And
Prabhuji.
you can keep turmeric also along with it. You get this, the whole holistic turmeric.
Yeah, turmeric
betel
and
nut,
kumkum. Yeah, that's clear because that's not
auspicious.
from our tradition. It's not a deviation.
Correct.
But the betel nut and the leaf was something I was thinking. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any more questions or realizations. Prabhuji, I also like the point that you raised, like how we need to follow the instructions of Guru and how we should be sincere by following the principles that have been set by a Guru. And you have given very nice example, like how Krishna has, by showing the picture also, you told that how sincere Lord himself was. He has set an example, like how we should be a sincere disciple for a Guru. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. I think there are no more questions.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. So, dear devotees, let us offer our obeisances to Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Grace Haridas Varya
Haridas Varya Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks for
very
a
nice
very
class.
enlightening class.
Wish you
We will be
all
looking
a
forward
very
for your
happy Kartik and
association.
Damodar month ahead.
Prabhu, can you repeat? We couldn't hear what you're saying.
Wish you all a very happy Damodar month ahead and Kartik month.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Wish you
Thank
the
you,
same.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks for the enlightening class, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today's class. We'll close the call for today.